Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with another episode of Lords of the Realm Viewer's Choice Edition, where today you can see we are starting to turn England greener than it already was. Now you may see some flags flashing, that's because we do have the Stuart activated, but just to clean up the map a little bit. This is what the county situation looks like. Both the Countess and the Earl are on the ropes, as they each have two counties. The Knight's not far behind. It's pretty much going to come down to me, the Bishop, and the Baron. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Right now I do have some border conflicts that are brewing, but the main reason I turned on the Stuart is that even though he doesn't always do great things in terms of helping people out, he does manage the count and he does leave a lot of people idle. He does enough to kind of make things work. So I'll take that. Now right now we do have some people invading our lands. It's mainly just those guys up there, that's it. So I do have some armies that are aiming to intercept here, namely these two that are going to be combining forces. But let's check our food here right now. That's in good health. Once again, we have the Stuart managing this county, so there's a lot of idle people, but I'll need them for the harvest later. And you can see that the price of wool is continuing to crash. Happiness here is okay. I don't think I can buy too much that'll really aid it. I can probably afford 2 casks. Now they're going to get some good supplies starting next turn. So let me look and see what that supply crate is and if it's going to be enough. 110 and 20 cattle. That's a good start. I may need to come back here later. Now the reason I do have the Stuart online is because that's going to help me manage counties faster and get back to playing the game a little more. So we're just going to start by having this army try and engage here. We're pretty much just going to split our forces up. And I'm actually just going to try and... It could almost be worthwhile for me to try and take out this county by the night if I can. I do have one set of 150 Swedish swordsmen. So I do want to get them out of Nottinghamshire, but I'm not going to be able to get them to actually attack, unfortunately. I can't quite reach it, so I'm going to go up here and just kind of block the road for now. I'm not attacking the village. I do not want to destroy my own people, which is something the Knight seems to be keen on doing. So I can go ahead and combine this army. There we go. So combine armies. And now we have a bigger strike force. Good, good. So most of our county management now is going to be reliant upon. Unfortunately, we have things like plague where there's death and panic here. But with all of the Stuart taking care of making sure that things are up and running, I can focus much more on just actually building up my place, building up my populace. Probably the only other worthwhile exercise to do is just to go through and see if I can get some sweet, sweet mercenaries again. So I may do some quick click-throughs on counties there because there's not too much else I can do other than just check merchants. So you have 406 troops here. What's your happiness like? You're at 24 happiness. I don't think ale's going to do you all up. No, it's not. It's not effective at all. But George, you sell weapons for cheap, and I have plenty of weapons in my stores right now. So I guess the next question is, what do I want to do with these forces? I do have a pretty sizable army. And they do have some swordsmen there. In fact, it might be worthwhile for me just to raise some swordsmen in this county, depending on what the Knight does here. Then I have an army down here as well that I could use to try and take out the Earl in an entirety. But I think, okay, the first thing I am going to need to do here is to buy grain. Because these people are just hungry. They're at ill health, and they'll be eating all of their sheep, which is not terrible, which is not a terrible thing. But I'm going to need to buy some grain here. Let's say about 250 should do it. This is a very high population county. So it's 1,000 crowns worth of grain. This is not my biggest army, but at least now I can set them to eat. Oh my god, you all are still going to be eating quite a bit. So we don't need as many shepherds as maybe we did because all these guys are getting eaten. I'd love to sell my sheep. Yeah, this is a county that is ripe for, well, it's ripe for a lot of things. I should probably get my troops out of here though, as I have other mercenaries on the way. So I was able to take Camelot without ever having to worry about it. Okay, so no mercenaries here. This place is currently feeding 300 people. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on the food system here. So actually, let's not get too greedy. Let's buy some more cattle. I think 20 will do. And I do want to buy some weapons as well. So let's get a few more herders. I say a few more, it's about 100 more. This place is going to get us a lot of weapons pretty soon. Now the other army I have marching to the west here is more Swedish swordsmen. And I could go ahead and try and take on the Countess. Choices. I think I did actually go through all my counties briefly. No good mercs. Or if they are, they're missing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the knight does. I may have to defend two fronts at the same time. Be great if the Baron attacked him, but it looks like he's going to be a step behind. If I take this county, the Baron may go straight after me, and that could suck. Because I'm not quite ready to defend my north border. But let's definitely start by getting people out of here. We know we want to do that. So let's just drop them in this county, try and do some economic nom-nom-nomming here. And then we have this army marching, which is peasants and crossbowmen. We have this army that's just going to march to the south for now. So I could try and bribe them, but I'm not going to. Probably save my crowns this round just to try and raise some troops here. In fact, probably a good idea to go ahead and get my peasants up in population. That had no effect on happiness. So we'll just go ahead and move this army to the west just a little bit, because I want to get them out of here next turn. And what I'm doing here is just trying to stagger my forces. I am going to, now that I'm starting my push, I want to really finish it, because the Earl's weak right now. And notice that I put peasants here instead of swordsmen. That's because this is a sieging force for Bunratty Castle. And now we could be butting heads with the bishop pretty soon if we're not careful here. So it does save my swordsman for possibly the north campaign. Or it does save my swordsman for this army, which I could also just raise right now. Let's see here. You sell cheap weapons. Let's buy a set of swords. You're going to see that I use a lot of swords. Let's go ahead and raise 7% of the population. This is partially a food control thing. Just don't want too many people trying to take things on. So 150 Swedish swordsmen. I think this county is going to be able to feed everybody alright. And there's 150 more Swedish swordsmen, so that's pretty sweet. And that was not meant to be a pun. Alright, so immigrants to Northamptonshire. Are you serious? Are you serious? Northamptonshire can't be that much better. But yeah, now with the extra Swedes, I do have more than enough forces to start trying to take this place on. So we're going to be attacking quite a bit. We're going to get super aggressive. First things first, though, let's see if we can take Kent. And while oh, I can't attack him, and maybe I should have waited to spend all my money until afterwards. That's a minor mistake. So let's attack the county. 100 people of Kent. Here's my army. Oh, sweet. They're going to be running through the mud. So this isn't going to take too long. Alright. So here they come charging. They're going to run into my peasants here. And that's going to be that. So yeah, pretty easy. Let's actually move my forces back just to make them chase a little bit. Good. That's what we want. So I'm going to lose a few people, but maybe not a lot. So I'll take that to the bank. Now that we have our bearings straight, see, even with the Stuart on, it still does take some time to go through turns here. So the game does slow down a little bit, but we are going to be methodically conquering the rest of the known country. Why are you all not firing? I really need you all to fire on things. Are all these guys trying to run? Is it just going to be peasant on peasant brawling? So I'd really like for you all to fire some bolts now. There we go. So we win. I lost 34 peasants, but Kent is mine, and Kent just lost a lot more population. So Kent, which had not been taken this entire game, they're suddenly a lot happier. That's good. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot to eat. Unfortunately, I've gotten rid of a lot of my crowns, so we're going to have to sell some livestock, I think. Alright. This county can afford for me to sell some. You know what? Fuck it. Let's sell our sheep. Wool is not really going to be of value anymore. Let's sell 8 cattle, 10 cattle. So yeah, we don't need the shepherds anymore. What we do need is some miners here. And maybe a few more armors. This is going to be a really big production county. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I've overtapped my possibility of harvest. I don't know. We'll find out. Leave that up to the stewards. So we still have that county up there. And I'm not seeing... It looks to me like there's a... Oh no, that's just a pip icon from the knight. So I do have another armed force here that'll be able to walk on through next turn. Good. So I guess what we got here is more swordsmen. Let's be aggressive. Not that aggressive. I want to take on the Earl. Let's see, and this is going to be a good test to see if the Countess is going to be attacking me too. So let's see here, 150 versus, what has the Earl got? Is it just peasants? Yeah, it's just peasants. So that is really interesting. Hard difficulty, they can raise peasant armies all they want to. But I guess because weapons are so expensive is that my economy is so strong, I can buy weapons every turn. Whereas they just have peasants. And I mean 700 for mercenaries. I do have to pay gold per turn on them. But I don't mind being as aggressive with these forces just because 55 gold per turn. Eventually I do pay more, but 3 sets of swords is about 3,000 crowns. You get a really huge return on investment for these guys. And it is possible he's going to try and run away here in just a second. So I may be eliminating the Earl pretty soon, and I could possibly be eliminating the Countess, which means it's going to be, like I said, the Bishop. You don't want to count him out, especially whoever starts in Cornwall. They get to kind of rise above the early border conflicts and everything, as I'm just making mincemeat of these guys, quite frankly. Thanks, Swedes. This makes me think of the Swedish chef from Sesame Street, or is it the Muppets? I forget. Okay, so I've lost 2 swordsmen so far. That's okay. And I don't think the Countess is actually... I think the Countess and the Earl might be aligned. And that's too bad for the Countess, because that means she's going to get bishoped or baroned or hit by me. So not the best way to engage this army. But the Earl just did me some favors by moving up north, and he's actually off the screen now. I didn't know they could actually do that. But yeah, I could be able to offer quarter here in just a minute. As soon as they drop below 40, probably. There we go. So they disperse. I lost 4 swords. And like I said, all I'm trying to do here is just be aggressive. So we're in Buckingham County now. And all we're going to do is move our 300 swordsmen this way. And I could be going for a total war strategy here. So let's see here. That's 100 more swordsmen. This is going to be one of my main strike forces. Lots of crossbowmen, lots of peasants. So let's see here. How far can you all move? I do not think the Countess can actually attack my county without walking through my troops, so that's good. We'll just go ahead and go like this. And let's not forget to buy food for Kent before ending the turn. So I think that's the only army we have left. So there we go. That is terrifying. 300 ground troops supported by 200 archers. Definitely what you like to see in this game. So we're going to go ahead and make a moo cow field that will currently have no cattle in it, because I probably need to buy some. Let's go ahead, let's just buy 13. This is not a very high population county, which is okay. So if we move some of these people to herding, eventually we're going to want to plant some grass here. So you don't have a lot of spare food. We do in Suffolk. Suffolk is a very happy county now, with a lot of people laying idle, because it's good to be in Suffolk, I guess. So we'll just do a care package from this county to this county. It's going to come a little late, but I think 100 grain and about 12 cows will be more than enough for this county. Cool. 15 minutes for a turn. I was expecting turning on the steward to make things a little bit different as, uh-oh, the bishop is now wanting to get in on this. So we're going to be racing against the Earl, I think. As there goes the Countess throwing away her armies. There goes, oh, the knight's running. Benny Hill music, I guess, is about to cue. I don't know. Oh, is he? Oh, he's actually trying to take me on. Okay. That's fair. And Clark gets extra crowns, 20 crowns per county. And we get the freefarmerreport.com, I guess. And let's see here. So rations are changed in places. The Baron's going to move against me soon. The peasants are happy. Yeah, if the Baron moves against me soon, it's going to be Highlander style. There will only be one of us eventually. But right now, what's the Baron doing? He's throwing his forces away. So let's see here. We're changing rations. Is that because our people are starving? Yes. But I really do not want to lose cows here. So when the counties are flashing, I am going to have to micromanage just a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to lose all of these. I do want to get as big of a harvest as I can. And that's not really cutting it, so we don't really need foresters. Right now, we need more people here. And that's where the steward's meant to be an aid, but not the be-all, end-all. So once again, we've got a lot of troops in this county right now. But that's just how it's going to be for the time being. And actually, it may be better for me to move people down here. They have no food in here, so we're going to have to fix that. Get some... Wow, okay, we can't make you all happy with beer, apparently. So let's go ahead and just buy some cacaos. And grain's more expensive from you, but that's okay. So you all actually have no food. That sucks. If we don't put a cow field, we're going to lose all of our cows. Unfortunately, you can't get the steward to do that on your own. So we're going to lose some stuff here. We won't get a full harvest, but we'll get close enough. Wait, what are we saying? Yes, we will. We got plenty of people to harvest. Alright, so... Guess I'm going to move y'all on half rations for now. And they will be fine once they get all of their grain. So it's your house food going here. Not great. I guess we need to go half rations here. Oh, not double rations. We need to go half rations here as well, just for now. Just because we have so much military in this county. In fact, it may be better for me to just try and, as soon as I can take care of the knight, get these people out of here. Just try and get them into another county. But I have to figure out if he's going to go north or south, because I don't want him to take Yorkshire back with just a small army like that. So this group is still in position in case I don't win here. And maybe I should have fought here first. Oops. Well, let's see. 150 Danish swordsmen. What could possibly go wrong other than losing the county? 200 yeomen of Lancashire. Just peasants and axemen. Okay, I got this. Especially since they have to walk through the marsh. I've really got this. My morale's a little better than theirs. So I'm gonna have to, I guess I'm gonna have to drop down some of my forces just to be defensive here. Very possibly. Because my southern borders are totally fine. But if the knight tries some kind of super sneak attack... Okay. Get you all in better formation. Good, you guys are dead. Alright, so I kind of screwed that up too, but that's okay. Important thing is that the axemen aren't attacking, and it could be possible for me to get him to totally surrender without the axemen ever engaging. And that'd be pretty awesome. Because he's sending in his peasants first. What the computer should be doing here is sending in the axemen to support the peasants, because axemen actually do... I think they're the only unit in the game that does more damage than swordsmen. They just have a lot less armor. So there's their morale crushing. And they will fight to the last man, they say. Yeah, that's what she said. And that's probably not going to last. So I'm going to lose some of these Swedes up here, which means I'm going to have to really hope that I can get some good mercs or something to support this army momentarily. So right now these guys are just sitting there. Cool. So see, I'm already taking damage. Those axemen are in better position to kind of micro and hurt. So the knights got me split just a little bit. The enemy sounds the retreat as well, so I wasn't able to get total elimination there. But I did win. So this is going to be a kind of tough nut to crack. Because the Baron currently has a giant army, but he didn't really seem interested in pursuing the knight out of his lands. And I think the knight may be coming back for Nottinghamshire. So I'm going to have to look out for the backdoor attack. You're losing some grain. Oh well, whatever. So yeah. Gotta be mindful of what's going on up north. If I can delay these forces a little bit, I am going to have to drop this army more than likely to the south. Okay, so other counties, like I said, we're just doing a quick mercenary check. Because we're gonna have enough of a harvest in most of these places. We do want good mercenaries. I've just hired so many. Okay, new church. Whoa, guys, you all need to not eat your cows. And you don't sell grain, you son of a bitch. Alright. If you're gonna eat anything, eat sheep, guys. That's what they're there for. To eat. So we'll lose one cow. But we'll be freeing up a lot of shepherds. There we go. So now our herders are happy. We're going to have plenty of grain. It's going to be all good here. And I don't need to support 500 or some army here. In fact, if these two armies have it, between these three forces, maybe I should preemptively try and move up and protect my north border with this very large, scary army. I know I've been a little wishy-washy and indecisive, but I do have a third force coming from right here towards the Countess. But it leaves my backside totally undefended. So I'm going to have to trust that I can raise a better army here. I do have one good army. I just can't play as aggressively as I would like, perhaps. So we are going to go ahead and just start by moving you all up here to take on the Earl's army. 300, probably more peasants, yep. So that's, I guess, a little disappointing about this portion of the Let's Play, is that we're facing very few armies that aren't peasant armies. And I was expecting a little better from an increase in difficulty. But at least they're not getting any happiness penalties here, I guess. So the question becomes, what's going to happen? My dog apparently wants to know the same thing, and that's why she's running around shaking her ears. It's all about dogs, cats, a menagerie here. Actually, not as big of a menagerie as I used to have. And that's between having animals and them dying, or them not agreeing with the baby, or them doing ridiculous damage to our property. Yeah, this has not been a good year to own animals for me. But it's also not a good year for the Earl to send the rest of his peasants through the muck and the mire, because these guys are just going to get mopped up so hard. As there goes their morale. I think mercenaries cap at like 30 or 31 morale between battles. Yeah, there's that first force. I really don't want to... Okay. Really don't want to engage you all in the marsh. So we'll see if we can back you all up just a moment. Yeah, I just lost my numbers advantage. But at least they're still split, so I shouldn't lose too many forces here. And this is where I was trying to be a little cautious, not wanting to move my army up to the north. So it's just tough that the knight has what he has up there. But if I can buff for a few turns and buy a lot of weapons, I should be able to get a manageable force up there pretty quickly. So this is going to be kind of a Suicide Squad Swedish swordsman eventually. So let's see, their morale's low. Let's let them drop below 40 units. And they disperse. So I lost 20 swordsmen to a bunch of peasants. That was really bad, and that was entirely because I engaged them in the bog.